Hey everybody, Bob Amaran here in the shop. I wanted to give you some tips and tricks on how I updated my mini lathe. I've got 10 different things that I've recently done. So the first thing I did is I've got a couple of these different Harbor Freight workbenches, and they have a little bit of rocking motion to them, and I'm not really crazy about that, especially with a lathe. So here's my fix. So the cure of a shaky workbench is to put plywood on it, and that works absolutely amazing. This thing is very firmed up at this point and doesn't rock at all. The second tip is when I do want to make it mobile, I put this contraption down here. So these wheels will fold down. Now usually I have them locked up. I've got them in a locked up position. There, a screw goes in there. And when I want to, when and if I want to move this thing, I just lift one end of the bench. This folding arm will come down, and then I do that on both sides, and boom, all of a sudden this thing glides around like it's on ice. Very nice feature. Third thing going on is this tool holder. So this is just a very simple I-beam type construction, and keeps the tools nice and handy. And I got a nice selection of different countersinks and chucks. And my calipers there. The green thing is a Morse taper cleaner. So all the things I need on a regular basis are right there. Number 4 is just having a little magnet right here for my wrenches. And that works real good. In case you were wondering, this is a G0768. I actually got it about a year ago. And this process of doing these updates really took about a year. But they're all relatively simple to do. One other critical item is the lighting. The older I get, the better lighting I need. So I actually have 3 lights here, and that is a huge help and keeps everything focused very well right here at the business end of the lathe. Okay, getting into the lathe itself, I ended up changing something here, which I think is a great idea. It's on the quick change tool post. What I did is made a it's a brass bushing that fits in there. So just measure the ID of that and the OD of the big hole. Drop this down in here. Put a washer on and tighten this down, and it's a lot nicer than that T-nut that comes in with the unit. I also added a DRO, a $10 cheapy DRO, and I just on the back there I have that with a magnet, and then I made a little tiny bracket right there and screwed that into the DRO. So now when I move the cross slide, I can do that very easily versus messing with these dials right here. Okay, here's my idea for a power crossfeed. So I just got a little mending plate, put a couple bolts on it, remove the 2 regular handles on this thing. Ooh. And this enables you to have a power crossfeed. So I think it's a 5/16 inch bolt. I got this, and in order to move this back and forth then, just do that. And everybody who has one of these lathes knows you got to pull this thing way out, which is a pain in the ass. when you're doing that by hand. And that enables you to get your wrench in there and adjust the 2 screws in order to change the compound. And then when you're done, you can tighten it back up, and you're back in business in a couple seconds without getting all cranky about it. Okay, here's my idea in order to have a power compound. As you know, this has to move around, but in order to make this movement like this, you have to loosen up 2 Allen bolts in here. So I just took a mending plate, put a bolt and a couple nuts on it, and I then putting these handles back on. Oops. And what this enables you to do is to now use your power drill, right, with the correct size socket. Let you do that real quickly in order to loosen and tighten the 2 bolts here, right? And then when you're done with that, oops. That way you're back in business in a few seconds. Now another feature in the bench are these drawers are really handy. So I got my cutting tools there and not getting chips all over them, right? Not like if they were in this area. And then some additional tools here. And there I get my extra chuck, some cutting fluids, my faceplate. The very first thing I did, even before I mounted this, is I made this additional chip pan. So this is actually a custom-made chip pan. A good buddy of mine helped me make because he's got a big sheet metal brake. So I'm able to get all the chips very handy in there. And then I got this flexible cutting board from my wife. And this thing works really well because you just do that and hold most of those things. If you need to do anything more, I got my one of my back scratchers, and I can use this also as a chip breaker, which is a real good idea. So, hoping to give you guys some ideas. So hopefully that gave you some ideas. This is making any work that I do on this lathe much more enjoyable. Everything's readily available. It's easy to clean up the chips, and maybe you can implement some of these ideas into your own lathe work. Have a great day. Oh, don't forget, like and subscribe.